Hey, Matt.
Timothy, Tim, how are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I struggle every time we do this to find my link again in email. I like search and I got to scroll back. So,
Are you not getting the notifications from us?
well, I got one from Emery today, but then when I hit the link, it said register again. So I went.
You know what? I want to talk to her about that because we're moving to a new student management system, and then like all things, there's always a little.
Yeah, that's fine. I can find it. It's just searching and scrolling because I don't delete anything.
I got
So
you.
it's hitting the right email. So
I know,
Okay.
I know on mine it automatically uploads to the calendar or my calendar, so I just click that link.
Okay.
And that's how
Yeah.
I've been doing it. But
I'm not great with my calendar at home. I got to get
Oh.
better with that. So
I hear you.
hey, Nick, I got a question for you. I guess I can ask you now, but maybe wait, I guess we're getting ready to start about how you actually studied for your PMP. I'm getting some conflicting information on some stuff and I'm looking to validate some of that.
Hey, Nick, I approve of your.
Nick told me he did the John Wayne method. If you need a 75%, you leave the first 25% blank and then you press forward.
If he picks C on everything, you're probably going to get to 50 at least, right?
Yeah, that's the technique I always do.
Here you go.
By the
No,
way,
it's more, taking the prep course. I finished the prep course, but then people started talking about the PMBOK guide and using that to study, and I just didn't know how you actually did it. So
Did not use it.
don't use it.
No, I
Okay.
mean, I didn't.
That works.
Our instructor said, take that book, that PMBOK, take it back to the store and get your money back. And then I'll start giving it. He had his own little book and he walked us through it. He said, that is so confusing. It's so much detail. You don't want to do it.
hey, Nick, you notice we're wearing red tonight? Both of
I
us?
did.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting into the Santa Claus season here, my friend, but also, it's red for Wisconsin and St. Louis Cardinals, Yes, I see that.
I was gonna say we didn't get the memo.
Don't want you to miss that.
We're wearing red.
I gotcha. Yeah, but just
I'm certainly not rooting for St. Louis.
well, we can't all have teams that get to the playoffs every year, Milwaukee Brewers, Detroit Tigers.
Tigers haven't been there since 11.
Yeah. Oh well, sorry about that.
And they just traded away some of their or let go some of their rising stars. So
Yeah.
They said they think they're actually in worse position though.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you get when you hire a brand new GM.
Things happen. So Don, let's
You're up. You're hosting.
I'm hosting and I'm gonna turn it over to you to do the educational minute, right? Before we do that, let's talk about the last I was not here for the last meeting. If I was, I came in late. You want to catch us up on what we
Previous spotlight last time was Seth Knuckles talking about life work balance, badge of honor, the new job, and the FNG mess up. Why make good decisions? So I think we were talking to you, Seth, and I think you had 3 takeaways: mindset, priorities, and schedule family personal time. How did it work for you? How the recommendations help advice?
Vice was great. I'm trying more and more to put it into action. Of course, being in school as well has gotta get some time in there so that I can, because the VA is paying me to go to school. So if I don't get the grades, I'm gonna have to pay for it. So I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of them because Lord knows I earned it. But no, it was great. And I've even talked with my my GM and the owner, and they're gonna help me a little bit on it as well.
Good. You know, we do that. We always go back to the previous spotlight because part of what we're trying to get here, right, is making sure that the value we're bringing to you guys with the advice from the group is helping you move forward. So we appreciate that, Seth, that feedback. The one thing we got from comment from one of our members, board members, was, "Hey, you probably don't talk about your vision and mission enough." And I was interviewed on Bunker Labs Coffee Talk Tuesday, and we talked about transition. We talked about MTR. They asked me the question, he says, "What makes you different than all the other transition programs out there?" I said, "We focus on teams. You know, a lot of those you can just come and go as you want. As a networking group, you pop in, you pop out, you don't show up, nobody cares. You know, nobody's contacting you afterwards. But we're about, you know, accountability to be present, to develop relationships, to be able to speak into each other, to be able to be spoken into. And we're about accountability, you know, work in your action plans." She's like, "Wow, that is different." So just want to emphasize that from our mission, right? It's accountability, teams with accountability. Let's jump into unless anybody's got any questions on that, I'm going to jump into the education moment. And the question I've got, see if I can do this all at the same time here. Where is got too many things open, don't I?
Yeah, I tend to close those out a lot, you know?
Don, I would just say, quite honestly, you and Matt are very genuine and you give a damn. It's really what it boils down to. I mean, that's what I've seen on my side. So that's my
Thank you.
thoughts.
Oh, we appreciate that feedback. You know, and you know, we just had, I'll just be open, member in the last group, Ann Tran, a close friend. She saw him or her on the 18th of November, and the person passed away on the 23rd. And we stopped right there. You know, it's like, "How you doing? Talk to me. Tell me what's happening. You got this group." She's going to see somebody with mental health next week, but I said, you got 8 people right here in this group who are willing to talk to you. And everybody said the same thing. So it was kind of a neat pause. So this was whoops, this was an article in LinkedIn on Tuesday. Despite downturn, hiring still stays up. You know, so there's a lot of places letting people go, but there's a lot of places still hiring. Architect, engineer, construction, environmental is hiring like crazy. They can't get enough. So there are pockets, but the question is, as you deal with companies and you put in a application, you reach out to people for networking conversations, a lot of times you get ghosted. You know, it's just unfortunately a fact. I see Nick saying, "Yep, it is." It is. It's frustrating. But the question is, how can you move forward? One way is just to continue to send the recruiter, "Hey, did you get my application? Did you get my application? Did you get my application?" And at some point, that's kind of like, you know, this is just not going anywhere. Same with a network connection. So what this gentleman says, Matthew Warboys, he says, go to their last 10 LinkedIn posts and leave an insightful comment. Whoops. Leave an insightful, guys, I can't highlight it. Leave an insightful comment. And what would you guys say is an insightful comment on a LinkedIn post? How would you define it? Tim, looks like you're thinking into it.
Yeah, well, so that's part of what I struggle with, right? That's why I don't post a lot, is because I don't think a lot of my stuff is insightful. But I mean, I would say, you know, I guess it depends on what the topic is, on what's insightful on it, right? Not necessarily just not commenting just to comment, right? But how does it maybe how does it link to something else that's in current events going on, or how does it link to something in the industry they're in, or something that you've been working on that maybe isn't directly related, making some kind of, you know, personal tie to it, something like that.
Okay. Here's one I did this morning. This is a Paul Lawrence. He used to work in the VA. He was a political appointee. I've been following him for a while. He was talking about Eisenhower, you know, just after he got elected president, before he took the office, here he was in Korea eating with the troops. And he could have said, they said he could have been inside. He could have been doing a lot of things. But he was sitting out with the troops and eating. And my comment back was, I thought about my father and uncles in Korea. They were at Guam when they South and North invaded. He came in at Busan, marched all the way to Yalu and back. He spent many times. And then Paul came back with a comment. He said, man, that's memorable. What's the most memorable part of your dad's time? And I came back with a comment about him eating some British guys in a hut. And they partied for a couple of days. So that's good. It's not like an expert comment, but it's more than just, hey, that was really good, Paul. Right. So just something from your heart, something that kind of resonates. I'd say, Tim, I wouldn't worry about it being perfect or being expert. It's just it's how you would talk at a networking event. If somebody said something, how you would respond back. Just to start a conversation. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. I mean, we've talked about this before. I got to get better. I'm not really comfortable talking about myself or anything like that. And so I don't mind talking to people when I give speeches, but that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I struggle with a little bit. So I'm working on it.
Yeah. And that's why we did the 30-day challenge. Maybe if we start January, we'll do another 30-day challenge just to get people comfortable. But,
hey, Don, I think we should do that. We should start, January 4th. Okay. All right. I'm taking that as a suggestion.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So look at their LinkedIn post, leave an insightful comment, then wait for them to comment. So people checking back periodically. And if you tag them, hopefully they'll tag you so that you can get the conversation going. So when they respond, you respond back again. And pretty soon you've got a conversation going. And then you can reach back out and say, hey, how would you like to, I'd really appreciate, I see you're in such and such an industry, and I would really like to have a conversation with somebody like you to talk about the type of jobs. Can we do that? And now that you've got a little know, like, and trust because you've been going back and forth in conversation, the odds are they're going to be more open to having that conversation. So this is just another way to try to get to that point without being frustrated and sending cold emails. Thoughts, questions? Doable? If Tim says yes, and he doesn't like to comment, that's a good thing. All right. Back to you, Brother Matt.
Okay, well, it's time for the wins and challenges. Who would like to start our process this evening?
I can go first.
Okay, Tim.
So a couple of wins. Last time I told you I had a mentor assigned. Had the first meeting with her. Went really well. Having our next one tomorrow actually, and we're starting to talk every couple of weeks. She's in the industry I kind of want to get into, kind of at a level I want to get into. So I think it's gonna be really good. And then tonight, right before this, I finished up the 35-hour PMP requirement. So start studying, put my application together, and try to get a course date for that, and maybe late winter. So there's a couple of wins. Challenges just continue to be work. Really not getting to do the stuff I need to do because I'm doing tasks, filling in on a whole bunch of other things. So just trying to get that balance and trying to find more time for myself to do these kind of things. Since I'm in the Pentagon, I can't do a lot of stuff on my cell phone or things like that during the day. My reception is just terrible and stuff. So it eats up time that I can kind of link up with people and have conversations unless I can telework or take a day off. So that's a challenge, trying to figure out how to do that a little bit better. But the office is supportive. There's so much going on that I can't telework, and I can't take a lot of time off right now. So.
Okay. I'm just gonna go around I'm gonna do the squares thing. So Anthony, would you mind being next?
Yeah, that's fine. As far as challenges, still working on approval, so it seems like it's going in the right direction, so that's good. But still working that. So I'm hoping to have something here. I got drill coming up, so I'm gonna press it hard again this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. Wins, I had a meet and greet with an HR person at the city of Tucson. So that went really well. They seem like they're really interested in me and they want to bring me on for a SkillBridge internship. It's outside of the Hiring Our Heroes, which I haven't had too much success landing it within that program, but they have partnered with them. But they've kind of leaned towards that they'd rather do it outside of that, which I'm fine with. So I'm just kind of contemplating that. And then I have a couple other things in the background with one with TEP and some others that I'm kind of waiting to hear back on. So we'll see what happens and kind of go from there.
So, our good friend Dave Shantz, we can always, if you're having some kind of roadblock, let's have you talk to Dave Shantz. He is to me is the subject matter expert on this, on working outside the Hiring Our Heroes channel. Let me know. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because the Arizona Coalition of, I'm working with them as well, and they're
Right.
partners with them. So
Okay.
I might go that route. But they have their own, they're approved through SkillBridge on their own as well. So
Okay.
I just have to get the paperwork signed with right.
Right, Commander.
Yeah, just with right organization, I guess, on the formatting. So
Okay.
not a big deal. It should be too easy.
Okay.
It's just a matter of getting the ding commander to sign.
Gotcha.
So,
All right, Nick.
All right, mostly wins on my side. I did get a job offer from the Army Corps of Engineers in the office that I used to work in. Still waiting for it to get cleared through HR, so I've kind of been just kind of in limbo, waiting on HR to process stuff for the last couple of weeks. Started terminal leave earlier this week, finished Hiring Our Heroes, finished core block, just moving along.
Congrats, my friend.
nice job, Nick.
Celebrate, man. That's got to be feeling good. That was back to your original plan, right? And now it's kind of come full circle back around. So
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, it's funny how it worked out. I sent a hiring manager a note about a job they had posted that I had planned to, just to say, hey, I'm planning to apply for this. I'll send you my info next week. And she said, I've got another job that I think you'd be great for that I haven't posted yet. If you are interested, I'll submit you for this one.
All right. To meet your criteria, pay, benefits, job, culture, travel.
I think it'll meet a lot of my criteria.
Okay, good.
Can't win everything.
Nope, it's all a balance. But hey,
I think the only thing I would add to that, Tim, is those really good tickets to see the Cardinals, right behind home plate, 3 or 4 aisles back. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if
All
they
right.
throw that one in there, I'd be happy with that.
why not seats up in the Corps of Engineer booth? I mean, come on.
No, we're talking the good seats right behind home plate. So I can be watching it from the comfort of my home next spring, and I'll see Tim there and just, he'll wave at me saying, it'd be here, sure.
I was thinking all the food and drinks and stuff. Man.
Well, okay. Deandra, you're next, sir. Wins and challenges.
Yeah, good afternoon, team. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Wins. One follow-up, attended the John Maxwell virtual event. This time we had Mr. John Maxwell was in attendance, so it was a good leadership development, and appreciate the insight that he shared as well, moving forward for that. Also have a meeting scheduled with my ACP mentor on Tuesday. So look forward to that next connection with him and our further discussion on the transition and understanding which is part of my challenge, is understanding the federal job hiring process, and which in part 2 is the other challenges, just understanding how that works. And part 3 of that was being able to attend a federal resume workshop tomorrow as well to help give me some better insight in regards to that moving forward.
Are you going to the one in Joint Base San Antonio?
It's virtual tomorrow.
Okay.
Right.
All right, because I spoke Wednesday on LinkedIn, and I know they mentioned, that's why I was asking. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Deandra. Seth.
All right, good evening, everyone. So wins for me, painting in our house is finally done. As you can see behind me, I'm in the corner of my house that my wife has allowed me to hang up some of my stuff on the wall. She gets everything else. I just get the small corner. Another one. What's that, Don? You were
It'd
muted.
just be darn lucky you got that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was told today by my general manager that another promotion will be coming in the coming days. They're just working on some scheduling stuff. So that'll be fun to go to a whole bunch of new challenges that come along with that. My challenges is right now is schoolwork. I have a great professor, and I've told her, hey, I'm working 50 plus hours a week, plus family, plus, everything else transitioned. Is she able to work with me as far as I'll get the work to her? It may just not be by the deadline. And she was 100% supportive of it, which was great. And just trying to get caught up on that. And it's not that it's not a hard course. It's just an English course. But it's just trying to get it done. And then I have to do, last week was my 5-year anniversary for getting diagnosed with sleep apnea. So I had to do another sleepless study, as I love to call them. So I have a nice little box that the VA gave me. Thankfully, it's at home, that I can do it in my own bed. But if it's anything like the last one, I'll be awake most of the night. So those are my current challenges.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. David, how are you, sir?
There you go. I'm doing great. How you doing? How all you guys doing?
Good, man.
Yeah. All right. Good evening. First of all, it's been a couple of weeks. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving and didn't spend too much money on Black Friday like I did. Wins. So I got a few fellowship offers extended to me, both inside HOH and outside HOH. So really happy about that. I'm waiting until Monday to accept or decline a few of them. So I really appreciate all the assistance from not only this cohort, but all the hard work and everything that everybody extended to me in assistance. And it looks like it's paying off. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And Onward to Opportunity. So I got my wife enrolled into Onward Opportunity, and she's taking advantage of that as a spouse and earning one of her certificates. So she did the initial part of it, and then she's now working on the modules, and she has like till March to take her test. So really good. Of course they're paying for it. So it's always good when you get things free. And then I was able to graduate from 4 Block a couple of weeks ago. So that was great, really great program. So made a lot of connections and a lot of great training. Challenges, I have my VA. I'm in my BDD windows coming up in a few weeks. So right now, just trying to get my records. There's a huge delay here at Fort Bliss. So just waiting to get my records and then go through those and just making sure I hit up all my appointments, part 1, part 2 physicals, and make sure, I have a method where I just start from my head and work my way down and identify every single thing that, was wrong with me or is wrong with me, and just making sure it's still in my records and it's still active. And basically that's it for me.
Hey, did you go through 38 CFR when you're thinking about things that are wrong?
That's on my list. Is right here. I downloaded it. I'm gonna go through each one and become familiar with the terminology and make sure I'm using the same verbiage and everything. And so I was able to download it. And that's on my work for this month is become very familiar with that 38 CFR. So
I want to shout out to Seth, man. I've been passing that gospel everywhere, and I used it for I had to go back for a couple more things when I sat down with the doc and I walked through that same language. He's like, gee, this is an easy one. This is not even a question. You qualify on both of these. Now just waiting for the VA letter.
The great thing is that you can control F it to where you can find what you're looking for. You don't have to scroll through every little thing. But yeah, that was a great nugget my Pueblo gave me.
Yep.
One lucky thing is I got the guy over here at Fort Bliss has been heard great things about him for submitting records, and a lot of my battle buddies have been getting 100% through him. So they say he's really good. So I'm looking forward to that. At least that's one thing that's positive. So
Thanks for sharing that, my friend. And my
problem.
friend from the Great White North, Carlton, how are you doing, buddy?
Good evening, everyone. I'm doing great up here. For wins, so I recently got feedback on my civilian resume, so I need to work on revising that through the feedback. And I've also been doing informational interviews, have given me a good leg up on a lot of the different technicalities on certain positions or different not locations, but different career fields that I'm interested in. For challenges, so I need to work on that civilian resume just to tweak it a little bit, make it more civilian friendly, and also to hop on the USA Jobs and get into that federal resume process like Deandra was talking about, because that's a whole different beast. I did go to a federal resume writing class, and I learned quite a bit about that, but it takes quite a bit of time to dial everything in. And another challenge that I need to work on is to get that. It's a DD form that's signed by your commander that takes the place of the DD 214 before you actually get out. I need to know what that form is called so I can look it up a little bit easier. I know it's out there, but so I need to get which one. What's it called?
It's just an MFR, memorandum for record.
Oh, it's just an MFR. Okay, great. That's easy enough.
So what do you put in the MFR, Nick?
I can send somebody mine if anybody needs it.
I'd like to see what because
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's essentially in lieu of a DD 214 until you get one, to show, from somebody senior to you that, on an official letterhead showing, this is your expected discharge date, your expected characterization, any deployments, any military information that then can be used until you get a DD 214.
Yeah, it's basically a statement of service. But then also too, what you can do is include like what your retirement pay is. And you can actually, I used it to get the mortgage on the house that we bought. Even though I have my 214, they wanted to see something hard paper or something on paper that showed how much income I was going to be pulling in. So it helps on both accounts.
Appreciate that knowledge. So
I appreciate the knowledge I just learned here in the last 5 minutes. This is awesome.
I'd never heard of that before. We were talking on the last note, it'd be periodically keep picking up nuggets, and that was a nugget.
That's a nugget right there. Yeah.
I'll see if I can drop mine into the chat window. I have no problem sharing.
I just, like I said, I just want to see the format, and I'll redact anything out there, like your social security and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's important to see that. Okay, guys. Hey, this has been a really good wins and challenges. Now, someone have something they want to put into the spotlight for the next part of our program? Thoughts, comments? Well, then I think we're going to the second process is let's talk about a couple of things that I think are impacting us, which is holidays, right? How are we, the holidays are coming up. What are your resolutions? And, we come up to that wonderful thing called resolutions. What are your resolutions for 2023? Anyone want to start with their resolution for 2023?
I would say I took the effort to start my resolution a little bit early, because I know a lot of people tend to have them for January 1st. So I started a little bit early.
Right.
So one of them was to quit drinking alcohol, and I was able to do so. I think I'm like on day 90 now of zero alcohol. My first stint, I went 8 months without alcohol, and I broke down for a little bit. So I'm back on day 90. Another one would be, trying to, as I exit the military, I want to be in the same shape, physically as I came in. And I've been doing so, working out very precisely with me and my wife for about 6 months now, and I'm able to get back. So rather than wait till January 1st and going to the gyms, went out and got the gym membership early. So just, and then the one I always said, just be a better husband, better father. So I've been making a huge effort, especially with the holidays, every weekend planning something, getting out of the house, taking a trip, going to enjoy different things. So those are my resolutions, but I like I said, I started them a little bit early so that, I didn't wait till January 1st. So that's for me.
Thank you for that, my friend. Who else has got a resolution they would like to think about? We're in the holidays, things are coming up. We're wrapping up a good year. Who else has got a resolution they want to share with us?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm going to follow David because I was noticing a lot of things of caffeine really getting to me. If I had a soda with I rarely drink a soda, but I have soda with a whiskey, right? Kind of a mix, like a rum and Coke. And A, I wasn't sleeping well, and B, I was get up way too much in the middle of the night. So I really, in the last week, really cut that back, and boy, it's making a big difference. So cutting out caffeine. Matt and I were meeting at Neater's this morning, and I always get like 2 or 3 big iced teas. Zero.
Yes,
And,
I noticed that. Yeah.
yeah. So trying to watch the fitness and the quality of sleep and stuff like that. So playing around with the alcohol piece, David. I love beer. In fact, I'm sitting here with a beer, but but I've had to cut off the whiskey for sure and just kind of see where things go. But also the priority in the schedule. I just noticed sometimes I was getting distracted. So I'm really trying to focus in on what are my priorities every day, get my list right in front of me, and just working through the darn list and knocking things off. And I've made a commitment to my accountability partner Tuesday, and I knocked off a big one yesterday, and I knocked off a big one today. So 2 big frogs got eaten. So
Who else has a resolution for 2023?
Mine is to get connected more with friends and family. I'm terrible at initiating contact with either friends or family. Like my former boss and I are very good friends. I think I've talked to him like as I was getting out or after I started transition leave, probably like 2 or 3 times a week. But I mean, we've texted, but I actually haven't like picked up the phone and called him and said, just to catch up. So that's a big one for me because it's going to be well outside my comfort zone because I get busy and life happens and I just forget.
Okay. I have that problem too because I have a lot of friends. It's like I need to make time to call them, and it's like I should try to set aside an hour every day to do that, but some things always happen. But that's where I'm gonna focus on, is reaching out and helping more people. Anybody else want to share their resolutions for 2023?
Sure, I'll go ahead and go. Mine is pretty nested with some of the ones that's been said, but for me, it's just setting priorities. I'm a workaholic. So for me, just understanding how to have a better work-life balance when it comes to scheduling more family events with my family. Because obviously my daughter has her birthday tomorrow, so I obviously want to spend some quality time with her. She turns the big 18. So then obviously my last one is just working on my mental health as well as I go through this transition process.
We're here for you, my friend, and you've got a lot of colleagues here. All you got to do is reach out to us. We're all over the country, but we're here to help you, right? Okay. I'm looking at a couple people that have not shared yet.
Yeah, I can share. I mean, there are a lot of the standard ones, right? And that aren't that you do every year and you don't actually do them. But refocusing on, refocusing on the job search stuff is one thing I've got to do better on. But on a more personal level, actually spending more quality time with my son, because he gets the short end of the stick with with a lot of stuff my daughter has. She's very active and we're gone a lot and doing a lot of things with her. So actually making the time to spend time with him and work on some of the things that he likes to do that just get pushed to the side. So
What does your son like to do?
well, he likes to go outside and play basketball. He likes to, I mean, he likes to play soccer. He wants to start playing golf, which is something I love to do, but I don't play very much. But just getting out there with him, right? Getting out there with my clubs to start and teaching him how to do teaching him how to swing and the mental side of it, and seeing if he actually likes it once we get out there.
Yeah.
Out in the field, and then prioritize some of that stuff for him. Because I said my daughter's gone all the time. Her teams travel all the time and stuff, and so he kind of getting the short end of the stick.
With Christmas coming up, you might think about getting him some lessons. Just it's just a thought. It's a good.
That's what I'm here for, Matt.
I got you. Put them together. Well, are you a scratch golfer?
No. Well, no. I mean, I used to shoot pretty well. I just don't play anymore. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I grew up playing. So if those who can do, those who can't teach.
That's true, but I'm just saying, just something to think about.
Yeah, no. That is the intent. Like once I know he likes it, right?
Top golf. Have you taken him to Top Golf?
We haven't gone there yet. It's about 45 minutes from us.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But,
in fact, our friends at Grunt Style, we're talking about doing something here next year on behalf of us with this really maximum golf guy. I guess he hits 400 yards. Wow, clears the net. So yeah, but just be thinking of ways to to encourage him. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
How about you, Carlton? What's your resolution going to be for 2023?
I'm going to say to keep up my fitness habits, and also another big one. I like learning, so I have a 30-minute drive to work right now, and I'd imagine my drive isn't going away anytime soon when I transition. So I like throwing on a YouTube video and just listening to it, not watching it, of course, when I drive, but just listening to different things and learning.
Wow.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of that.
So
whether it be for new skills or different concepts or different things like that.
One of the things that I picked up from working with Don Gleason for so long, and he's created a good habit, is whenever I'm driving, for the most part, I'm listening to an Audible book. So I've gone through about 6 or 7 Audible books. I like your idea with YouTube's, it's like you're sitting there and it's like, I could be stuck in a major traffic jam, but if I'm listening to a good book, I could care less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck. But I'm listening to something that's got value right now. I'm listening to a book on Lincoln and his rivals. It's just a really great book, and it's just how to build allegiance. So thank you, Don Gleason, for getting me started on that trek and that good habit. All right, Anthony.
The Team of Rivals with Lincoln is a great book.
I'm listening to it right now.
Yeah, I'd say just spending more time with the family, and I'm got this big change coming up, so it's exciting, a little nerve-wracking, so just working through the challenges there. And then I got some good news to share. My wife is expecting, so
All right,
we're gonna have another one. So it's crazy, but another twist in the situation. But it's it'll be awesome. So
congratulations.
When's the due date?
we don't know officially yet, but we think right around June.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What
Probably
child
like
number?
the second week or first week of June, something like that.
So you have how many other children, sir?
2 girls.
And this one's gonna be a little boy or a little girl, do you know?
We don't know yet. We're my wife wants to be surprised, so I'm kind of torn. What I kind of want to know, but I mean, I think I'll probably just go with that, just to be a surprise day of. So,
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
I believe I have not heard from Nick Copeland yet on.
You haven't heard from me because I've never been real big on resolutions
I
because
gotcha.
I don't tend to keep them. It's like it's a great idea that lasts about 10 days.
Yeah,
And then it just kind of falls away. But really my goals are, I'm on 2 months of terminal leave that I just started this week. I really want to try to relax, enjoy it this month, and then hopefully by first of the year, I'm, into a new position and focused on that and learning, what I need to get caught up on.
okay. All good ideas, all great concepts. Is there something else we've got about 5 minutes. Is there something else we want to put into like a hot wash kind of situation?
At almost 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. What do you think, Don?
What you were just talking about was good. I was sitting in a mastermind for 2 hours this morning. I meet once a month with these guys, and the subject this week was 2023 planning. He took us through a whole bunch of questions, kind of thinking it's always from a business perspective, right? But what is it? Who are your clients? Your target market?
Yeah.
What are their problems? What are their pains? What do you have that can help them? And so that's all good. And the same kind of process works exactly what Matt was just talking about, right? I think it's been a year or so since we did that wheel of life. We probably need to do that again. But it was looking at, where do you think you are in your spiritual life and where do you want to be? Where are you at in your physical fitness life? Where do you want to be?
Yeah.
And that leads into, in fact, I just found another question sheet to the Maxwell leadership team. I'll pull that out and send it out to folks. But it kind of gets you thinking about kind of where am I at? What are the stressors in my life? What's causing me inefficiencies? And Tim, like you said, right, you're having a hard time getting time at work to do transition, but you want to do certain things at home, so it's really a struggle. And then the question when you come back to refocus on job transition, that question is, where do you find the time, right? And that becomes a question as you kind of search through. And every one of us, I'm not trying to just pick on you, but every one of us has that kind of same thing of, I want to be better, more physically fit. I want to read more. And we tend to, and I think this, Nick, is why most of us fail at resolutions, is we just try to pile more stuff into an already busy calendar. And you have to decide what things go away so that I free up time to do it. That's what I did about 3 months ago. It took me a month. But I got into a program in August. I'm really building my for-profit business. But I realized real quickly that I'm in several accountability groups that aren't going anywhere anymore. And I had to call them and say, I'm sorry, I'm not coming back to this one anymore. And some people are like, you don't like me anymore? I said, it's not, I don't like you. It's just my focus is over here now. And this is what I want to get going. And if you're my friend, you'll appreciate that and help me. And so I cut a lot of things out to free up time, and I'm still doing that because I still think I'm spending too much time on some other things. And so it's taken me several months to try to get there, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to get the time that I need to do what I need to do to create the life that I want. So I just want to encourage you on that piece, right? It's easy to say I want to do this one thing, but your life will push back on it because you're adding something new, and you got to figure out how to do something different or cut something out. At some point you're getting rid of the bad to focus on the good, and at some point you're getting rid of the good to focus in on the great. And that's where it gets really hard.
You just said something just a couple of seconds ago that I think is really interesting. Okay. If there's one thing that you could change or you could learn or do, what would that be? It doesn't have to be transition related. Just give me something that if you had the time and the ability, what would you like to do in 2023? Time.
So you hit a couple different questions styles there. So I'm going to clarify what you're asking. You said, what would you get rid of?
I didn't say that. I said,
that's kind of where I was hearing you go. And then you said, what do you want to do in 23? So I want to clarify what's the point you're trying to get to?
I'll answer my question with what I want to do. I'm going to learn how to play. What's the version of tennis that you play with the paddles?
Waffle was the new one.
Pickleball.
Pickleball. I'm gonna pick up pickleball.
I thought you were going to say ping pong.
Yeah.
I've already played. Hey, I've actually played in the U.S. Air Force in Europe table tennis tournament. So no, I've won badminton, I've won racquetball, I've won tennis tournaments, so.
So here's
yeah.
the question, just like what I just did. What are you going to give up, or what are you going to change so that you can learn pickleball?
Time management, I'm gonna find some time. I just
But
figured out,
that's what I'm asking. What things are going to go away?
I won't give anything up, I'm just gonna modify the time a little bit. I'm gonna say,
Okay.
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. That's one of the things I'm gonna talk to John DePiro on
Mhm.
Sunday. He and his girlfriend are playing pickleball. I was just, so when can I play? Cause I'm a natural tennis player. Been
Yeah.
doing it forever. So that's the one thing I want to do. And then I think the second thing is I want to learn how to improve my Spanish. So those are the two things I'm gonna try to do. Not gonna get it all done one day, but I will get it done. So with that, set the stage. What is something you would like to do in 2023?
I would say for me, I really want to work on my communication skills. You know, whether in a group or whether as an individual. So that's one thing I've always, you know, feel that I'm not top notch at. So I think it'll not only help me having communications, but also, you know, in the workplace, work environment, you know, being able to communicate and come across more intelligently. So those are a few things that I would like to, outside my other goals that I have, but some personal development that I really want to do. So going ahead, reading some books about it, maybe joining some groups and things, and that force me to communicate and, you know, really adjust my the way I come across my language. So I think it'd be very beneficial going forward, especially if I'm able to be successful in some of these fellowships. So that's one thing that's definitely on my list.
Let me make a recommendation here. Consider this just a recommendation. Toastmasters. I was a Toastmaster. I went to ATM Bronze. I'm no longer a Toastmaster, but I'll tell you the one thing I learned from Toastmasters, how to run a meeting. Okay. If ever there's an organization that teaches you how to run a meeting, it's Toastmasters. And I used it when my parish said, we'd like you to be the men's club president. We had this one guy like, yak, 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 put a sergeant in arms, you get a 1 minute rule. Okay. And I got a trusty old retired judge to be my sergeant at arms. Nope, your minute's up, sir. Keep the meeting moving. So that's something just to think about. That's my suggestion, David.
So
Okay.
Toastmasters, and then John Maxwell, of course. I've been
Yeah,
I've
either
attended a
or,
few of
either
his
or.
yeah, I've attended a few of his sessions,
Yeah.
not only with Don, but some others as well. So you said that's Toastmasters?
Toastmasters, there's clubs all over the country. I believe in it. And you're right, David. John Maxwell is a really good resource for communications and listening. There was a time when I was really active in Toastmasters. They had this thing called have the ah bell, right? You hear this I listened to a very famous broadcaster in San Antonio. I once counted 60 ahs in 3 minutes. I mean, it's just like and it's just a really good organization to consider.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can always connect you to a John Maxwell speaking club as well if you want to hear from John every week and different components of his speaking, and then put that into practice. A little bit different structure than Toastmasters, but go into the same piece.
I need to learn about that too, but the thing of it is Toastmasters, when I did that, when I was getting out of the military, that was the skill I used. And would you believe it? There I am running a nonprofit men's club. It's like, God, they were just all over the place. And then we just put structure, and we had the discipline of the structure. Okay. Guys, what else?
I'll go again. I'm talking a lot tonight. But I'm gonna read more. I always say I'm gonna read more. I'm gonna read more. And to Don's point, what I'm gonna give up is some of my sleep in the morning on the weekend. Instead of sleeping in a little bit longer, I'm gonna not take those extra hours that I probably really don't need. I'm just being lazy, and go downstairs, go down to the basement if other people are up, sit in the chair in the corner and read for an hour, at least one day a weekend. So
There you go.
I I would be interested, Don, I missed the John Maxwell thing the other night because had a family conflict. I wanted to sign up for it, but the timing just wasn't gonna work. So if you do have something like that, I'd be interested in,
Okay.
if there's like a recurring thing that, so I
Let
can
me
hit some of them.
Yeah, let me know. Let me find out where one is. Because I'll look for your location and stuff like that. And the John Maxwell from the 19th, there's a replay. And I think it's
Okay.
still available. And I think I sent you an email.
You did send me an email. I just didn't sign up for it because I knew I had a family conflict, so.
Yeah. Well, that was on the 19th, but the replay allows you to do it at any time you have.
Okay.
So you could do it 3 a.m, you could do it whenever. Now that'll probably run out here in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 days. I'm not sure exactly when.
Thank you.
But yeah, but that's a good one.
Hey, Don, quick question. Is that speaking club through LTI? Because I did join a speaking club through LTI, but the hours just wasn't working for me. So if it's another one,
Was that the
I'll definitely appreciate it.
LTI Leader Transition Institute?
Yeah.
I know Annie Brock is also a John
Okay.
Maxwell team, so she may be doing that. I'm unfamiliar with what she's doing. She wasn't doing that
She
when
is.
I was working with her.
Yeah, I did join that one, but the hours just didn't work for me. It was like Wednesday, June a day, Thursday, June a day.
Okay.
So I dropped out of that. So if it's another one that you have, I would definitely thank you.
Yeah, I'll just have to find out, who's doing one. Because I used to do one the year before COVID. It was always was it Monday at lunch? I can't remember. But but I know another guy who's doing one here in San Antonio. It was like Tuesday nights at 7. But I'll check out and I'll find out and I'll get back to you guys.
What other new skills do you want to learn, guys?
Now, here's what I'm doing. Back to what I just said about this program. I am launching a new focus for my for-profit business, doing the same thing we're doing here, but doing it for non-military. And it's not going to be a nonprofit. It's going to be a for business. It's going to be a charge for folks that are transitioning out of employment to other opportunities, looking for something that motivates them, inspires them. Same kind of thing we're going through here. So I'm really excited about that. That's why I had to clean up time, because I needed a bunch of time for that. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if it's, as most of you know, I'm more of a pour into other people and help. So one of the things, it's not necessarily a learn, but I want to be able to,
Could be a do, right?
yeah, I want to reach in, because most of you guys know, or if you don't know, I'm in Northwest Indiana on the outskirts of Chicago. So it's an interesting place to be. But I want to be able to go into either like a high school or like a college, and mentor young men. Because and I've had a couple conversations with other gentlemen that are my age, and we're looking at sort of trying to find a way, or how do we sort of crack the nut on mentoring to young men, and to whether they're in high school or in college, in order to help them just know or understand the decisions that they make are going to have consequences down the road. They're not just making that decision for now. And so that's one of the things I'm going to try and sort of a pet project that I'm going to try and work on. How I'm going to do that, my hours at work are going to shift a little bit, so it gives me some more time in the morning. And so I'm hoping that it will be something that I'll even still be able to use some of my hours at work, because I can use it as sort of an outreach through work. And so therefore, I can do an hour or two a day, or a week, just trying to figure that out. So it's something that I think is needed, because a lot of young men in this area do not have either good role models or good home structure. to be able to say, hey, I'm coming to you free of charge. This is just, let's meet, let's break bread, let's talk about, a lot of the same stuff we do here, but do it at a lot younger age. So when these young men become all of our ages, they're better off than we are now. And so I think that's crucial. So yeah, I'm working on it.
Is there an online program for that target audience? Kind of like a Veterati, right? I'm not talking the military and transition, that kind of, but the same idea, right? Already an online program where you could jump in and become a mentor to help, or is that something, or what group is already doing something like that? Like through Society of American Military Engineers, we mentor folks in the architect, engineer, construction, environmental arena, and
Right.
we have different mentors and different programs, so it would be easy to pick up a guy like you and pull them into mentoring some folks in that realm. So the question is, what groups are already working on campus that you can meld in with, just as two ideas?
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Matt.
The answer I will tell you is Rotary, because Rotary has high school groups and college groups.
Yeah.
You might think about that.
Okay.
In fact, I think that kind of aligns with what you're doing there with your restaurant, because
Right.
it would make sense that you might look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just it's one of those pieces where it's something that I continually hear with some of our guests and with some of our team members. So it's definitely something that's piqued my interest, and I'll just look into it and see what happens. I mean, even if it's an hour a week, that's better than an hour a week of doing something
TV.
else that's mindless and meaningless.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give up more TV, and that's not as easy as I thought it'd be.
That's true. We've got time for one more thing. If we could do anything, I know Tim's going to help his son become the next Tiger Woods, but what is the one thing you'd like to do in 2023?
I got kind of a fun one. So right now I like playing guitar just by myself, but I'd like to learn how to play with somebody else too, like a jam session. I also like to have an accordion, so I'd like to learn how to play that better. It's my grandma's old accordion, so it's collecting dust. Every once in a while I bust it out, but I would like to spend more time on that.
What was the first one? You said accordion, and what the first one was?
Playing guitar with somebody else. Just kind of to make music with somebody else. I think that'd be neat.
That would be
It's a
fun.
good stress reliever.
What kind of guitar music are we playing? Classical stuff? Are we playing folk? Are we playing
Country or classic rock on acoustic.
all right.
Nothing Beethoven here.
All right.
Old stuff.
All right. Okay. Well, these are some good challenges, guys. We kind of broke off the idea of the spotlight, and we just kind of talked about 2023. I hope that this is kind of inspires you all to think of ways to embrace the new year. And Anthony, I think you've probably got the greatest gift of all, having another son or daughter to join the tribe. That would be fun. There's always adjustment for your two daughters, but this is the great thing.
They're excited. So
Hey, get caught up on your sleep now, my friend.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, you know what? It gets better the next time. Seriously, with my youngest, I was like, okay, yes, she was pretty good though, and I learned a trick with her, which was give them a bath, swaddle them, and they tend to sleep pretty well most of the time. So I was fortunate. So I pray that you have fortune with that third child there, my friend. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we're down to the last 4 minutes here, 4 or 5 minutes. What can we hold you accountable for the next 2 weeks? Yes. That's right. I'm getting ready for that, guys. That's my granddaughter.
That's
That's why I'm growing the beard out. I got the hat, got the outfit. Okay, thank you. Tim, next 2 weeks.
Okay, so I'm going to do my initial draft on my PMP application because it can take me a little bit of time to refine that and start studying for it so that I can try to get that done within the next couple of months. I'm going to try to apply the lesson from the education minute tonight and apply that with some hiring managers for at least a couple of companies over the next couple of weeks and see how I do with that.
Okay,
Yeah, and then I'm gonna sign up for 4 Block. That was been a recommendation a couple of times, but specifically for the Hiring Our Heroes, they recommended signing up for that as well. They sent me the link, so I'm taking that as a hint that they want me to do it before I have my pre-interview with them. So
That is a great program.
Anthony.
For me, I gotta take care of a couple appointments, following up with medical stuff. I need to follow up with a couple of people that reached out to me, and I sent them some information, a couple that I haven't heard back from, so I'll probably be sending them an email, and I might as try to use that technique as well. But I think I'm gonna try to just reach out to them first, so over the holidays and everything, just kind of giving a little time. And then the other organization, the city, I need to follow up with them because it sounded actually very promising and seems like they really want me. So I really need to think hard if that's the route that I want to go for that position. So.
Thanks for sharing that, my friend. I hope the thing works out for you, that you get the skill bridge that really capitalizes on your talent. Nick.
I need to make a little bit more progress on submitting my VA claim and getting with the DAV. Kind of dropped contact with them a little bit with all that was going on, but now that I've got a little bit of time on my hands, I need to get that taken care of.
Okay. So you're gonna have, by this time in 2 weeks, you'll talk to the guys at the DAV to get your appointments set up and all that? Okay.
Yep.
Deandro?
Do that before you get out, because you have priority before you get out.
Deandro?
Yes, I'm attend a federal resume workshop tomorrow. And then I'm gonna focus on building my resume out on USA Jobs. Then I'm also gonna attend a couple of job fairs too that's taking place here in JBSA and in San Antonio.
So will you be there on the 6th?
I don't think the one on the 6th I'll be there the one on the 8th.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, we'll be there on the 6th for sure. Okay. Seth?
I'm gonna research the local Rotary Club and kind of look into that. I'm also going to, I have some my sister-in-law and her husband both work in the high school. So I'm gonna reach out to them and see if they can sort of help me. My brother-in-law is also the head football coach for the high school, so I'm sure they probably got a lot of ends and be able to kind of point me in the right direction so I can clear as many hurdles as possible to sort of do my pet project, as I'll call it.
Heck, they might just bring you in as a motivational speaker, man.
Yeah, I've done that once. Gosh, it's probably been 5 years or so ago.
Mhm.
And I was just talking about, being in the Army and things like that. And there were two gentlemen of Muslim faith that got up and walked out because they were mad, which was interesting. But yeah, and definitely that's, and that's that could also be sort of the avenue. The other thing I'm gonna do is I've got another mental health appointment scheduled for the 19th. I did have a podiatry appointment, but that canceled and got moved another month. So I was like, hey, I already asked off for the time from work. So I need to stay on top of my mental health appointments. And so I've got that coming up in a couple weeks as well. So and then just continuing to work on my work-life balance.
Good for you, man. David?
What's going on? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So just for this month is just now this whole month of interviewing and preparing for interviews are behind me. This whole month of December is dedicated to her is just getting smart on preparing for this VA claim that's coming up. So jumping into the 38th and just going through all my medical records and reviewing everything, hitting up all my appointments and everything that I got. So I dedicate this whole month just to get my knowledge where it needs to be, so that come next month, I could, I could have submit a successful claim. So that's all I'm focusing on this month.
Are you working with somebody?
Yeah. I've reached out to quite a few people that's actually went through the VA claim, and made a few appointments, and so I've been talking with them, and just right now, just a lot of gathering, just getting smart on the verbiage of the injuries and what to say. And
are you working with a trained certified VSO?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
I can't. I spoke to him, but once I actually have my records, because they're delayed, then I'm gonna go see him in January for about the middle of the month, and we're gonna submit those.
Okay. I made a mistake of not doing that 13 years ago, and I kick my ass.
Oh.
I kick myself all the time for not doing it. So
Yeah, I'm not doing it by myself.
I was gonna say, the guy that I use, he said write down all the claims that you're gonna have, and then and then I give him my medical record, and then what he does is he looks at my medical record and maybe finds other things. So that
Right.
guy is an expert, and
Yeah,
he became
I
irate
don't
for
plan
me,
it.
so I'm using him.
Yeah.
I don't plan to do it myself at all.
And Carlton?
So I have a medical appointment tomorrow, in which will dial in my life insurance policy before I knock out my VA claim. So I gotta knock out the life insurance before I find out everything that's wrong with me. Then I gotta do the MFR from my commander. And then just keep working on my resume with that additional feedback that I got.
all right.
So guys, this has been a great session. Always good to see everybody. And I always enjoy working with all of you, and as Don would say as well. Thanks so much for being part of this. We are coming up to the end of the year. If you know people that can contribute to our ongoing campaign for fundraising, and we're having a little bit more success with some other organizations as far as building a reputation. If you could think of a foundation organization that we ought to tell our story to, please let us know. We would like to hear from them. I
I'd
want
like to talk to them.
yeah, we'd like to speak to them. And then also, Seth, if I could keep you for a minute, I'd like to ask you a question about that. And I know.
Okay.
8 December, we're also doing a workshop on the transition timeline, planning with Dr. Michael Horton and Larry Brown from our organization, who's got the ultimate Excel spreadsheet. And when I heard you speak today, Tim, about your timeline, you need to talk to Larry, because Larry's got it down in spades. Okay. So
Yeah.
plan on.
We have. I've got his worksheet. I just haven't had time to fill out his worksheet.
Okay.
He was in our group for a while.
Huh? He was. I know, but I'm pointing that out that he's mastered that. He's actually been able to go to his commander and say, "Look, I have to do all these things. I'm going to be leaving. We need to think about how we're going to work through all those situations." So it's worth your time on 8 December. And thank you, Brother Gleason, for the card. Sorry. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day. So guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Good conversation tonight, guys.
Thanks.
Night. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
So Seth, did you have a chance to talk to your owner about the Chick-fil-A Foundation?
Not yet. I was planning on talking to him last week. and just got consumed with Thanksgiving.
I understand.
And then he went out of town. His wife got COVID. Now
Oh,
he's at home with COVID. His oldest is at home with COVID.
okay.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely, so I've been hitting him up. And actually I'll show you guys this. Which I think is why I've built a lot of Wasta with my boss or the owner.
Hang on a second. We'll make sure because we gotta do something real quick.
It's
Okay.
it's not showing a capability to make him co-host.
Oh, yes, it is. I have,
Can you
I
do it?
have-
Okay.
I do. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
What's going on with my messages? Oh, here we go. Let me see if I can share. Let me see if I can figure out how to share.
You hit the little green button down there.
Hang on, let me pull it up.
Hey,
Oh.
little guy.
Hey, big guy.
Share screen. What's up, buddy?
What do you talk to?
You want to talk to?
Yeah.
Might be the best conversation we've had all night.
You got your
Hi there.
haircut.
Say, yep, I did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's your favorite sport?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. That would be fun.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
What's your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Of course. He's cool, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the eat Triceratops.
He eats triceratopses.
Yeah.
What else?
Dinosaurs.
What was that one? Stegosaurus?
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus?
It has spikes. Don't
Yeah.
touch it.
Yeah. It's not letting me. I'm still learning. I finally got a new computer. I've had a Mac before.
I want to tell another dinosaur.
You do?
Yeah,
This
please.
one. My best is dinosaurs.
Which one?
The tall neck dinosaur.
The
Huh?
Brachiosaurus?
Yeah.
Brachiosaurus. Wrong neck. Are you into Pokemon at all?
Yes.
Oh, he's 100% dinosaurs at the moment.
100% dinosaur.
we
Okay.
taking-
It's for dinosaurs.
Are you gonna take Daddy to the Field Museum in Chicago?
Yeah, went in there.
They got dinosaurs there.
Yeah, that
I
toy.
say we're looking to go.
Yeah, that's good.
This is your breakfast dinosaur.
My 3-year-old grandson is into
try another
Pokemon. He
one.
knows them all.
I want to tell
Man.
another dinosaur.
No, not right
I want to tell another one.
now. One more, and then you're done.
My best is dinosaurs.
What about the one that flies?
What?
There's a dinosaur that flies. Which one is it?
One. Flying dinosaur.
Uh-huh.
Pterodactyl.
Yes, it's a flying dinosaur.
Yeah. As he speaks, we can't hear him, but because he's so loud.
Yeah, he's your Brachiosaurus.
There you go.
But yeah, so it's not letting me share my screen. But basically, one of the projects that I had that I was given when I got promoted was to launch our basically mobile through. So it's a completely digital experience with Chick-fil-A. So drive-through lane, you scan a QR code, it tells us that you're here to make the food, and we get the food out to you.
Nice.
Wow.
We are ahead of all the current Chick-fil-A baseline by over 125% of our transactions from what they say is normal. And we continue to see that grow. So I'm hoping to use some of that Wasta with him to go, hey, which he's totally about it anyways, to be able to get some time with him to introduce you guys to him. So I haven't forgotten. It's just been, he's been slammed and we've all been slammed with multiple different things, but
We recognize that, but if we didn't ask her nicely every once in a while, you know.
yeah, no, I haven't forgotten, and I'm gonna put it in my phone to as a reminder to touch base with the GM tomorrow, and ask him and say, hey, you know, would it be okay to ask, you know, the owner, sort of, you know, just kind of go, just so that he's aware of it, so that if we, because I know the owner's doing 100 other different things, but just to take that time out. But
You know, if you send me, you know, we just are having some of our presentation PowerPoints put into a presentation mode. If you send me the address, I'll ship you off one so you can share that with your owner. Okay.
yeah, it's I'll put it in the chat, if that'll work.
Better if you did it in LinkedIn messaging, but that'd be fine too.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it in LinkedIn messaging, because I'll give you both my Chick-fil-A one and my personal.
Yeah, that way we'll, like I said, we're getting some made for another an organization that's been very generous to us, and so we just happen to order a couple more, so I'll get one for you as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, haven't forgotten.
All right. I just.
Hey, there he is.
Oh my
like it.
goodness. Oh. Hey, do you know that my wife studies dinosaur fossils and leaves? Did you know that? Paleobotanist. Ask your dad what a paleobotanist does.
Paleobotanist.
That is what my wife is a paleobotanist.
Draw a T-Rex like this.
She knows about T-Rexes. She could really explain to you what.
See, this is the real Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh my goodness, I know. Yeah.
It's a ginormous one. It's a stomach one. The Triceratops is.
Someday when you're a little bit older.
That's not at the movie.
That's right. Land Before Time. I bet you've seen those movies, right?
Oh no, he's all about the Jurassic Park. Like he watches. This one is from the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, good. Okay.
It came with the actual vehicle that the T-Rex smashed in with the kids in it. But no, he watches all the Jurassic World, Dominion.
Okay. Okay. Good on you.
Jurassic World Kingdom.
All right. Well, listen.
See?
Yeah. I'm going to say good night to you because it's time for you to go to bed.
Yes, it is time for you to go to bed.
It's time for me to go to bed anyway.
Me too.
All right. Good talking to you, my friend.
See you guys.
I will see you tomorrow for our meetings tomorrow. Okay. Those 2
o'clock. All right.
2 o'clock, and then you're gonna let me know about 3:30.
I sent the note to them, but it was about 5 o'clock. So I don't know if they got back to me or not.
All right. Well, I'll look for the answer on that. Okay.
All right. Ciao.
Bye.